Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of the Throwdown with Chris Maloney, episode number 2 tonight. It is, it's Saturday for whatever reason. It is Thursday, September the 14th, 2023. This is live right now on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitch. Audio will be up on different platforms, several platforms as it is. And you can watch the replay if you want to as well. So, once again, Chris Maloney, London, Ontario, Canada. It is September the 14th on a Thursday, Impact 1000 Thursday at that. And it's going to be a big night as far as Impact Wrestling goes. You can see the mug behind me there. I've got a few other things I want to show off as well. So, it'll be show and tell night tonight. Huge announcement coming up personally for myself. And I can't wait to get to that towards the end of the show, but a lot coming up towards the show itself. Welcome to the show. If it's the first time you've ever watched me on camera or listened to me on audio, a lot of people familiar with CWN Weekly, CWN Predicts, CWN Recap, various things I've done in the past. Predict still exists, obviously. I do those, on the website as well as live. And, since this is show number 3 within a matter of 7 days, I'm excited. And I'm excited for a lot of different reasons. The main one being it's been a while since I've done this. Last show I did, so episode number 1, you would have heard me say it'd been 27 months since I did a live podcast. So, beyond the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, beyond CWN Predicts, first time in 27 months was last week. And now I'm 2 for 2. So it's, I wasn't sure if I was going to do one this week, but with everything coming up this weekend, and like I said, there's a huge announcement I got to make at the end of the show. I was excited to do another one. So here we go. Episode number 2. Normally, if you watch the podcast in the past, you've seen me with a Red Sox hat. 75% of the time I'm wearing a hat is Boston Red Sox. That being said, I checked today, 7.5 games behind for the wild card position right now. I think they're done. The elimination number for them was 10. So, basically it's tough because the whole American division, the American League division, the wild card race is tough as it is. There's a lot of teams I never thought would be in the playoffs, and a lot of teams there for the wild card, I think, as well. I think 4 or 5, and that includes the Red Sox, could be in the wild card. And it's a matter of 12 games left, I think it is, probably even less than that. But so bring out the Patriots hat. A huge Patriots fan. Not a Celtics fan, and definitely not a Boston Bruins fan, but Patriots and Red Sox for sure. Tough loss last week for the Pats, and I got a comment coming in, and I've got to show this. So Christine, so that's my wife, and obviously you can see Grumpy Me in the picture there. On Facebook says hi from Emma with a smiley face. Emma is my 5-year-old daughter, and she was aware I'm doing the podcast tonight. Towards if I start doing them on a regular basis again, I'll have her on the show. It'd be definitely like a matinee show type thing. The reason for it, because she is in school. My wife is a teacher, so it's timing wise. That's why I started doing them at 7:00 on, say, Thursday nights, for example, because the weekends are tough, and Monday through Wednesday, kind of tough as well. Because not a lot has come out with regards to wrestling pay-per-views, what's coming up this weekend, so to speak. So I thought Thursday would be a perfect time, especially right before Impact Wrestling, which is my goal, by the way, to be off in time to watch week 1 of Impact Wrestling. But shout out to my daughter Emma, my daughter Sadie and Cece's as well, my son Brandon, as well as my wife Christine. But I said, you know what? I said, early bedtime, so to speak, she was on her tablet. Emma, that is, my 5-year-old. And I said, just when I start the podcast, if you want to, go online and you can show her what I'm doing. And she's seen me do this in the past, but it'd been like a while. I think she's like 3 years old, so, but I said, yeah, hey, show her what I'm doing. And she probably won't get much of it. She'll see me. She'll hear me talk about the word wrestling. I can say the word Jasper, and she knows what it means. Rizzo and Ollie, she'll know what it means. and I can also say go to bed. And she'll hate it, but she'll know what that means as well. So guys, so welcome to, like I said, to episode number 2. Huge personal announcement coming at the end of the show, but like always, I've always done birthdays and anniversaries at the beginning of the shows in the past. I'm going to do that once again. No anniversaries coming up in the next week or so, but happy birthday Renee Paquette, 38 years old on the 19th. All Ego Ethan Page turns 34 years old the day after. That's on the 20th. Adonis Superman Stevenson. So if you're not familiar with him, he was a professional boxer, is retired. One of the best of, that was existed in Canada as far as, boxers went. He's 46 years old on the 22nd. We got Diana Tigris Dutra. Only heard of her about 6 months ago. She's a boxer as well. She's 59 years old on the 23rd. All of these people are Canadian, by the way. And if they're not Canadian, they have a heavy Canadian tie, which means, they were Canadian, as far as what they did here in the country, so to speak. Diana Dutra, I want to say I'm pronouncing that right, 59 years old on the 23rd. And then birthday as well, Chris, the Polish Hammer Horodecki, London's own, 36 years old on the 24th. Adrenaline MMA here in the city. So if you're looking into, any kind of mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, check out Adrenaline MMA here in the city. And Chris Horodecki, like I said, the Polish Hammer, 36 years old on the 24th. So guys, if you're familiar with the show last week, I said I'm going to do tidbits as well as topics. I have broken them down this week. Not sure I'm going to talk small about some of them and big about other ones, but I separated them the best I could with regards to what I feel personally was important, as well as the topics, stuff that's been coming out all week. And it's, you know what? I'll start with this. I'll start with the tidbits. So Impact Wrestling Victory Road 2023 took place last Friday night. And I want to shout out to this. Tommy Dreamer won. I think I went 6. I think I only missed 2 matches, I think it was. But yeah, Tommy Dreamer at 50-something years old won the Digital Media Championship. And I called that. I said, you know what? I said, CM Punk may not arrive on the prediction show, but I said, I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say Tommy Dreamer wins that championship. Sure enough, who wins the championship? Tommy Dreamer. So shout out to him. Shout out to Victory Road for being great last week. Deonna Purrazzo loses again. Steve Macklin, Josh Alexander, the main event. Alexander won in that one. Few surprises there. Not so few surprises, with some of the other matches, but a great event. And like I said last week, CWM predicts $5. I mean, you can watch that show for $5. Not that expensive at all. From there, UFC 293, Adesanya versus Strickland took place last Saturday night and news. So Sean Strickland's the new UFC middleweight champion of the world. He beat Adesanya, unanimous decision, and that took place on the 9th. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see if there's another one that's going to come up, but it'll be interesting there. Matt Riddle. I know why I always want to say Riddle. Matt Riddle not at WWE Raw following airport incident that took place on the 11th. Report came out today. Riddle is expected back for Monday's WWE Raw on the 14th. So they said he was sick this past Monday. Stuff went out, on the 11th, which was last Monday as well. That's when I know it took place on the weekend at JFK there in New York, and Riddle wasn't happy. And it was on social media, with regards to what was taking place. With regards to that, there was a lot of rumors saying he's being punished, and another rumor saying that Matt Riddle was sick, but apparently he's supposed to be back at Raw on this coming Monday on the 4th. The report came out today. He's supposed to be back on Raw on the 18th, so next Monday. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Another report, WB and LA Knight far apart on money in contract talks. I'm not, so as far as I know, he is signed through next summer. So he's still, and even to the point, I think it might even be a year and a half left. But I know he's signed. I'm going to bring up the report here just quickly. Just because I don't know if I think it was next summer, but I believe it might even be a year and a half for LA Knight there. So this is update on negotiations for a new WB contract to take place. LA Knight may not be close to finalizing a new contract with WWE. This is courtesy of Wrestling Observer, by the way. Report states no deal has been agreed to and doesn't appear imminent, but WWE and Knight will keep negotiating. Knight has been offered a new 5-year contract by WB, and then Fightful adds that notes that Knight's current deal still has more than a year and a half left, running into 2025. So a still big chunk of time as far as the contract of the one and only LA Knight goes. Now, to me, I hate saying this. He's always going to be Eli Drake. I got to see him in Windsor a whole bunch of years ago. He's been around forever, and he was a big part of Impact Wrestling. And the fact is, I get where his character is going. I get the fans getting behind him and this and that, but I don't know if it's going to last. Sami Zayn was a huge thing a year ago. The whole transition into putting him up against Roman Reigns in the Elimination Chamber that took place last February in Montreal. I think LA Knight's got the potential to be huge, but it's not going to be Rock Austin kind of huge. It's not even going to be Daniel Bryan kind of huge. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But good for him being the age that he is, because I believe he's early 40s, if I want to say that. And so if he signs a new 5-year contract, that puts him well into his retirement days, so to speak. So good for him for being at this level at his age, going into maybe one of his final contracts. But I don't know about that money thing. You've heard about it with Drew McIntyre, and I'm not sure if LA Knight's going to be able to get the money that he wants. You hear about it all the time in sports, arbitration, this and that. And unfortunately, they have agents and stuff like that in wrestling, but it's not going to, I don't think it's going to play out too well for LA Knight as far as getting what he wants. We hear talks, like I said, Drew McIntyre, Edge as well. There's big news that came out today. I'll talk about when I get to the topics, but it'll be interesting to see what happens to LA Knight, to see what kind of contract he does sign in whether or not it's publicly announced. NXT 2 days ago on the 12th. Phenomenal show. So beyond Becky Lynch winning that NXT Women's Championship, and Tiffany Stratton, they went head to head. It was a good match. It was a good main event. I wasn't sure if Lynch was going to win because Stratton had got up there for that moonsault, and next thing you know, disarmer, and then the manhandle slam, and it was a good back and forth match. Another good back and forth match was Axiom and Tyler Bate. Man, I could watch those guys forever. That is pure wrestling right there. That is what you want to see in a ring as part of the heritage, the Global Heritage Classic, the Cup, so to speak. But props to NXT for the show that they put on this past Tuesday, among other things that were on the show as well. And setting up for NXT. What is it? I almost said Takeover, but that's old school. No Mercy coming up on the 30th there. Tampa Bay to host 2024 Royal Rumble, January 27, 2024. They're making it a weekend event. So they're going to have Monday Night Raw in Tampa, and then St. Petersburg is going to host Royal Rumble on the 27th there, guys. Tickets go on sale, I think, tomorrow or this weekend, but I'm pretty sure it's in the next 24 hours at least. Shelley Sabin and Alexander. This was interesting to see. Shelley Sabin and Alexander challenge Okada, Tanahashi, and Ishii at Destruction of Ryogoku. Good with some of my Japanese pronunciations, but horrible with other ones. And that was announced yesterday, the 13th. I'm going to bring that one up as well, because that was kind of cool to see the relationship between New Japan as well as Impact Wrestling continuing to go, to work, so to speak. And I brought up the wrong article. Where are we here? Oh, that's why I didn't go to episode 2. I went to articles. Have you guys seen my interface as far as Google Chrome goes? You'd be, man, what is that? But at least I understand it. So 13th is revealed earlier today by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Impact World Champion Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Josh Alexander will team up to challenge Kozi. And again, I normally get Okada's name. Because forget it, but Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tomohiro Ishii for the never open weight 6-man tag team champions. I am excited about this match, by the way. At Destruction of Ryogoku on October 9th, both teams have crossed paths over the years. Most recently, when Shelley successfully retained the Impact World title over Tanahashi at Multiverse United 2, for whom the bell tolls. So that'd be a great match coming up there, and that is taking place on October the 9th. So that'll be interesting to see. I'll get my screens back here in place. There we go. And then finally, just like I said, another little tidbit there. And this is something cool as well. So I'm a gamer. Okay. I grew up with video games, everything else, and then all of a sudden technology and advancements and everything that went along with it. I have an Xbox Series S, and it's digital, so no more discs, so to speak. So it is kind of weird not to hold a video game in my hands to put it into the gaming machine, so to speak. And anyways, long story short, WWE 2K23 is phenomenal as far as customs go. Championships, rings, entrances. I made myself. I'm called the Chosen One, Christopher Lawrence in the video game. I haven't uploaded publicly, but that's who I play as my character. And with that being said, they also a lot of great creations as far as old school, new school wrestlers and updates to their attires. Like Jay Uso had a new T-shirt on Monday night, and sure enough, it's been updated. So I follow a channel on YouTube called Smack Talks. That's where I get most of my information from as far as W2K23 goes, and AEW, as well as some of the upcoming other video games coming up next year. But the coolest thing in the world was the discovery of Demolition. I said that last week. This week was the discovery of the Wyatt family. So somebody has uploaded Bray Wyatt with two different variations of his character back when he was the Wyatt family. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, who I'm excited about because the fact is he's coming to town in a matter of days, with less than 48 hours, as well as Braun Strowman when he debuted, masks and everything. So you can have the full Wyatt family with regards to WB 2K23 free download. And like I said, just look up Smack Talks with regards to YouTube, or go on the CWN online YouTube channel. There is a spot on there called gaming. So there's different categories and stuff. Go to gaming and you'll be able to find that video that introduces the Wyatt family as well as other things. And like I said, I marked out for Demolition when I discovered them. So that was pretty cool. Now, guys, we'll get into topics. So some of the important stuff that happened throughout the week. Endeavor announces close of UFC and WWE transaction to create TKO Group Holdings on the 12th. This was something to see. So you go on X, still getting used to calling it X, and sure enough, in the picture you got Daniel Cormier, you've got Emmanuel, you've got Triple H, you've got Vince McMahon, you've got Dana White, all at the top of the New York Stock Exchange. And to see all of those personalities, so to speak, in one platform announcing the creation of TKO Holdings. And that was back on the 12th. So that was this past Tuesday. So guys, it is official. Monday night was the last Monday Night Raw that was fully produced by majority shareholder Vince McMahon. And then Tuesday comes along, and Beverly Hills and Stamford, Connecticut press release, September the 12th. Endeavor Group Holdings and World Wrestling Entertainment, WB, announced today the close of the previously announced agreement and launch of TKO Group Holdings, known on the New York Stock Exchange as TKO. TKO brings together UFC, the world premier mixed martial arts, WB, integrated media organization, the recognized global sports leader in sports entertainment, to create a new premium sports and entertainment company serving more than 1 billion young and diverse fans, reaching viewers in 180 countries and producing more than 350 live events. And then the article, if you go to corporate.wb.com, it's on there. It goes and lists the leadership team as well as the advisors, talks about Endeavor, talks about TKO, the UFC, WB, obviously. And it's a big deal. And to me, as a fan, I am happy, because when you heard talks about WB being sold, I didn't expect it was going to be sold this way. I didn't expect it was going to be a merger with UFC. And you've got two of the biggest powerhouses in the world as far as sports and sports entertainment goes, with the UFC. And I was, I'm proud to say, I went through and watched UFC 1 and UFC 2, and got to meet Dan the Beast Severn at one point in time. That was cool. And my best friend at the time, he was like, yeah, it's just like WWE, it's just more real. And Hoist Gracie, and watching these guys and be like, man, this guy's in a karate gi, and this guy's like 350 pounds on the other side. And sure enough, Hoist Gracie with the karate gi ends up kicking his butt and I think winning. But and it was like, St. John, New Brunswick. So I'm talking like 2-3 in the morning until this event finished. But I was addicted since then. And to know that the WB and UFC are under the same umbrella now, TKO Holdings, it's amazing. I'm curious. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Like I said last week, you talked about Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey with regards to MMA. Daniel Cormier, he's been part of WB in the past, special guest referee. I think I don't know if it was SummerSlam of last year. I forget what the event was, but it's been that mix, right? Now you got Dana White and Vince McMahon, Triple H still at the helm, NXT, everything else that goes along with it. And I'm excited as a fan. So, guys, that has officially closed with regards to this past Tuesday. Something else which was absolutely kind of interesting was the promo that was cut by the one and only American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. So he did an interview with Justin Barrasso, SI.com, and stated a few things. And one of them was the fact is that he wants to be able to have a family life. He wants to be able to basically pick up the phone, be at home, no contract, and Defy Wrestling, for example. He wants to be able to say, hey, I'm going to show up to Defy this coming weekend and just have it happen. He wants to be able to do All In just because he wants to be able to do All In or All Out or New Japan Pro Wrestling. And you've heard talks about him always being a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the G1 Climax, and that would be absolutely phenomenal as well. To see him show up at Wrestle Kingdom would be phenomenal as well. And guys, to know that he is winding down, quote unquote, the final countdown, it's sad, but at the same time, it's exciting. Here you got two guys this year who are unsure about the career path, but the fact is they are weighing family heavily with regards to both cases. One of them being Adam Copeland, Edge, and rumors of him going to WWE. Sorry, rumors to have him going to AEW from WWE, but having a contract extension in his inbox is one thing. The second thing with regards to Bryan Danielson is the fact is he is just ready to spend some time at home. Both of these guys had massive injuries. Both of these guys were forced to retire against their will, so to speak. And now all of a sudden you've got both guys contemplating their next moves in the exact same year. So that is something there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Edge, and be interesting to see how long Bryan Danielson holds on. He said he wants to be done by the time his daughter is 7. And the fact is, with AEW Wrestle Dream coming up and one of his dream matches himself taking on Zack Sabre Jr., that is going to be something cool as well. AEW Dynamite last night, I did watch most of it, bits and pieces. I want to say, it's there's way too much wrestling on TV. AEW Dynamite, though, yesterday, the main thing which was kind of sad was the attendance. They took place in Cincinnati, Ohio. John Moxley was there, the first match of the night. And you see the shots on X, Twitter, and only about 23 to 2,800 people in attendance. I forget what the numbers were. I know one of them was how many tickets were left and what the setup was. And you saw the whole one side of the arena all blacked out. So they had taken all the fans. On TV, it looked amazing. But at one point in time, one of the TV shots did show the blackened kind of corners and stuff like that. And it's sad, it's just sad to see, and one of my immediate thoughts was this: are they running the market too much? And they do. And I know that because when I go on CWN online.ca, I do articles and stuff like that, and I use the hashtags. I can see where they've been because the hashtag automatically generates. And, it's sad to see the attendance, but stuff that was pretty cool last night was number one, MJF, his Steiner Math promo. Guys, if you haven't seen Dynamite, look it up on YouTube. Find the AEW channel, and like I said, look up MJF Steiner Math promo. I don't know if I don't think they tagged it that way, but with him talking about percentages of winning against, I think it was Samoa Joe as well as Roderick Strong last night. He did Steiner Math, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Takeshita is now known as the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita. Man, I'm bad at the names tonight, but he is targeting Kota Ibushi next. And it'd be interesting because he's called the Alpha now because he beat basically Kenny Omega, the best bout machine, so to speak, the cleaner, twice in 1 week. So that's why Don Callis has renamed him the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita. So if I slow down my words, I'm pretty good at this. Another big piece of news that came out: Jade Cargill believed to be leaving AEW, going to the WWE. Spoiler alert, guys. So if you don't like this, skip the next 2 minutes. But she was gone for a while. She was TBS champion for the longest time. Next thing you know, she comes back. She gets beat by Chris Statlander. Statlander has been on a roll. All of a sudden, they do the rematch there for last night for Rampage, taking place tomorrow night. Like I said, guys, spoiler. And all of a sudden, Statlander beats her clean in the ring. And the way it played out was Jade Cargill kind of left the ring, paid her respect, waved to the fans, so to speak. And this looks like it might be the end for Jade Cargill as far as AEW goes, possibly heading to the WWE. Whether or not she goes down to NXT first, we'll have to wait and see. But the fact is, when it comes down to it, Jade Cargill is going to be a free agent and maybe going to the WB, which to me I think is going to be massively huge. The feuds that she can be part of in the WB, but Jade Cargill, that run that she had as TBS champion and now going to the WB, picture her at WrestleMania, picture her in the Royal Rumble. She's one of a kind talent, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see. AEW Collision Dynamite Rampage heading to Montreal, Quebec. Now, I posted this a couple months ago. I think I CWOnline.ca as well as social media, and it was confirmed this morning. So as of today, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision all heading to Montreal, Quebec on December 5th and the 6th. The 5th will be a TV taping for Collision, as well as the 6th will be a TV taping for Rampage, as well as a live Dynamite from Montreal at the Bell Center. So guys, get your tickets there for AEW Collision Dynamite Rampage heading to Montreal on December 5th as well as 6th. Just checking the time, 25 minutes in. So 35 minutes till Impact is on the air, and I definitely want to be watching that. That being said, 33rd Annual PWI Top 500 came out today as well. Here is the top 10. Seth freaking Rollins at number 1, Roman Reigns number 2, Jon Moxley number 3, Gunther at number 4, El Hijo del Finkingo is number 5, MJF number 6, Kazuchika, I can say it properly now, Okada is number 7, number 8, Orange Cassidy, number 9, Josh the Walking Weapon Alexander, and number 10 is Cody Rhodes. So Josh Alexander is number 1 Canadian, but I shouldn't say not by much, because a big difference between him and the next guy. So the notables, I'm pretty sure at the top 500, I've gotten through all of the Canadians here. So here are the notable Canadians. Number 21, Kevin Owens. 22, Sami Zayn. 24 was Chris Jericho. 25, Kenny Omega. 39, Mike Bailey, Speedball. Number 50 is Edge. Number 170, so big jump between 50 and 170. 170, all ego Ethan Page. And 192 is PCO. 202 is Davey Boy Smith Jr. 203 is Cody Deaner. 215, Jody Threat. 229, Stu Grayson. 295, El Phantasmo. 296, Benjamin Tall. 336, so another big jump. Evil Uno. 357, Alexia Nicole. 365, Von Vertigo, who will be in town 2 days from now. 367, Mike Bennett, who will also be in town 2 days from now. 384, Junior Benito. 385, Tarek. 417, Aiden Prince. 427, Zoe Sager. And 481, Myung Jae Lee. I want to say I pronounced that right. Haven't get to see him live yet, but those guys, top 500, 33rd Annual PWI Top 500 on sale now as far as digital goes. I don't know if it's out in the market yet for as far as the hard copy goes, but the digital copy is available on PW Insider, their website. And like I said, top 10, Seth Rollins was number 1. And as far as Canadians go, Josh Alexander topped the list at number 9. Impact 1000 taking place tonight. So matches are Team 3D in action. Leo Rush taking on Chris Sabin. X Division Championship is on the line. Frankie Kazarian, Tracy Brooks taking on Eddie and Alicia Edwards. Feaster Fired Mass, Josh Alexander promo, and then BTI has Killing King taking on Jody Threat. Episode number 1 versus episode number 1000 comparisons on X have been absolutely phenomenal. So they've been focused on guys like Frankie Kazarian, what he looked like on the first episode, what he looked like on going into episode 1000. Alex Shelley's on there, Chris Sabin is on there. Moose is on there as well. Moose wasn't obviously part of episode number 1, but the comedy is that when Moose came out for episode number 1, he was doing the whole Moose gimmick, the whole the elbow drop thing. And to see him come out now with that kind of the godlike appearance and just that cold stare, it's been interesting. So guys, check out Impact Wrestling on X and check it and look for that footage there. But it's pretty cool to see what they've looked like I said, episode number 1 versus episode number 1000. And guys, final little bit of note with regards to Impact Wrestling. Rhino has apparently finished up with regards to wrestling for Impact. He was in a dark match at the tapings there for Impact 1000. I've got 2 cats making their way. One's eating, one's kind of debating on what they're going to do. It did earlier today, anyways. Rizzo and Ollie, you guys have heard me talk about Rizzo on the show. He usually comes out during the podcast. And then Ollie is the not so much a kitten anymore. He's going on 5. He is 5 now. It's been almost 5 years since we have him, but he's the one that you got to keep an eye on. But anyways, Rhino is officially producing now. Did a dark match at the Impact 1000 tapings, but as of today, I think this is Post Wrestling come out with it. He just officially said, yeah, with Impact, he's producing now. So same pay, a little bit more work behind the scenes, but he is one of D'Amour's guys. Guys, upcoming PLE pay-per-view and special events. I got to reword that because immediately you say PLE and you automatically want to say PPV. And Emma, my daughter, get a kick out of that. Anyways, guys, Dynamite taking place Grand Slam 2023 on the 20th. Jericho versus Sammy Guevara, MJF versus Joe for the title, Saraya versus Tony Storm for the title, Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston, title for title, and then John Moxley defending the International Championship against Jay Phoenix. NXT No Mercy 2023 so far, Carmelo Hayes taking on Ilya Dragunov, Baron Corbin taking on Braun Breaker, as well as Dominic Mysterio defending the NXT North American Championship against Mustafa Ali. Wrestle Dream right now, 2 matches taking place. Danielson taking on ZSJ, as I mentioned before, and Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland. I almost said Sean Strickland. That's why I get them confused. Taking on Hangman Adam Page. That is going to be a show, considering the promos that they've had the past couple of weeks. Fastlane's taking place on the 7th. UFC 294, Makachev versus Oliveira 2, taking place on the 21st of October. Main event for the main event is for the UFC Lightweight Championship. And then Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory is their next one. Impact, no matches have been announced so far. I expect Josh Alexander to be in the main event for I shouldn't say one of the championships, but for the championship. And then Mike Tenay, Don West going into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. And you can't talk about Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling without those two guys, thinking about their voices behind the scenes. I shouldn't say behind the scenes, but on camera, so to speak. But guys, I'm going to do a small little promo right now with regards to Hammerlock Pure Wrestling that if you watched last week, you'll be sure to see again. If you listen on audio, it won't make a lot of sense to you. But guys, here is the promo for Hammerlock Pure Wrestling, and I'll get to more after the promo airs. So guys, hope you enjoyed that promo there. Hammerlock Pure Wrestling. Rogers Deal is premiering next Friday night, September the 22nd, after the Knights game and after the wrap. They are also in Dorchester, the Dorchester Fair on Monday, October 9th at 1 p.m. That is free with admission to the fair. That is on Thanksgiving Monday. And then Job Site Brewing Company in Stratford, Ontario, Saturday, November the 4th at 7 p.m. And guys, Hammerlock Pure Wrestling's up-and-coming promotion here in Ontario. And Canadian Independent Wrestling, of course, and they feature some of the top stars. And they're a wholesome family-run show, and they cater to families and kids. And been to a couple of the shows, and they're phenomenal. Like I said, the Rogers Deal starts next Friday, September 22nd, on Rogers TV. That's Channel 13 here in the city, and right after the Knights game and right after the wrap. So, guys, check them out there. Smash Wrestling, like I said, taking place this coming Saturday, so 2 days away, presents International Fight Night 2023, London, Ontario, my hometown, of course, featuring Eric Redbeard, Eric Rowan, Francesco, again with the names, Francesco Akira, so from Catch 22, teammates with TJ Perkins, TJP, I almost said TJ Wilson. Also featuring Dream Girl Ellie, their women's champion, Psycho Mike, their men's champion, Vaughn Vertigo, who's doing great things over there in Europe, and much, much more this coming Saturday, September the 16th, 6 p.m., free with Western Fair admission. And tickets, I think, are less than, I think about $12, I think they are. So not very much at all. Guys, I'm going to bring up the article for this because this was absolutely huge. And the more I read it, I was like, holy crap, this is phenomenal. So, Guys, ready for this? Love Pro Wrestling teams with the Edmonton Oil Kings. This is courtesy of Fightful, but the promo was great from LPW Love Pro Wrestling. So, Love Pro Wrestling, Edmonton Oil Kings combined for first time ever event at Rogers Place. LPW, the Oil Rumble. I love the name of that. The Oil Rumble marks the first time an independent promotion has run at Rogers Place. Edmonton, Alberta. Love Pro Wrestling, the Edmonton Oil Kings are proud to announce the collaboration that will see a first ever independent wrestling event at Rogers Place. The Oil Rumble take place January 21st, 2024, 6 days before the actual Royal Rumble taking place. The event marks the first time an independent wrestling promotion has run an event at Rogers Place following the successful debuts at WWE March 15, 2019, All Elite Wrestling, July 5th, 2023. Honored to have been asked to be part of this event. Anyways, coming from LPW founder Spencer Love. Since opening in September 2016, Rogers Place hosted some of the Canada's most memorable events, including the Oil Kings WHL Championship run in 2022. We're incredibly proud to be part of the lineage and hosting the first ever independent wrestling event in the building, especially be hosting in partnership with the Edmonton Oil Kings. Oil Kings take great pride in unmatched entertainment value our fans perceive at Rogers Place, said Kevin Radomski, Oil Kings Director of Business Operations. But partnering with LPW, we're adding even more entertainment to our already exciting product. Saturday, January 21st, fans at Rogers Place will be treated to great action on the ice and the best indie wrestling on our stage. It's going to be an afternoon filled with slap shots and suplexes. That is a cool line. Slap shots and suplexes. Put that on a t-shirt. Best value and family entertainment has just gotten better. This is LPW times EOK, so Edmonton Oil Kings. The Oil Rumble scheduled to take place throughout the Oil Kings home game against the Saskatoon Blades, January 21st, 2024. And that was official press release there by LPW. Love Pro Wrestling. Absolutely phenomenal. Congratulations to the Love Pro Wrestling. Congratulations to Spencer Love for achieving everything that he's achieved the past couple of years. I know he's doing a good thing out there in Alberta as far as his shows go. I think his shows are up to 21, if memory serves correct, but he is doing absolutely phenomenal things out there in Alberta, and congrats to him for the cross promotion with the Edmonton Oil Kings and the Oil Rumble coming up. I was going to do this too, so I'm going to quickly do this. Give me 1 second here, because I had to go and I always clear what they say cache is with regards to the internet. I use that as something called StreamYard, and they say the best thing to do is clear your cache, so to speak, before you do a show. That way, you get best bandwidth reception. You don't have to worry about streaming issues and this and that. And I was going to say, as I'm doing that, Facebook's not being cooperative, but finally, yes, it is. So, guys, if you go to facebook.com/Canadian Independent Wrestling, that is the page, so to speak, where I post all the events I know about with regards to Canadian Independent Wrestling. There's also a group that's online as well with regards to Canadian Independent Wrestling. That is where you go to promote, talk about your gimmick, talk about upcoming shows, all this sort of stuff. But this page right here is with regards to upcoming action taking place. So I'm just going to bring up the events, and I'll let you know what's taking place this weekend. So tomorrow, C4 taking place in Ottawa, Ontario. They are presenting Walking the Edge tomorrow at 7:30. Tomorrow as well, CBPW Uproar Season 2 tapings taking place in Kitchener at 8 p.m. Saturday, Chinlock for Charity Legends of... I can only see so much. That is taking place on Saturday. Courage Pro Wrestling taking place on Sunday at 4 p.m. as well. And then the next couple shows are taking place the following week, but they will include Superkick Pro Wrestling. I'm gonna take these shows and put them in a notepad, so I'll be able to give you proper information. But like I said, Independent Wrestling on Facebook, check it out. VIPW is taking place next weekend as well. PWE, we've got VIPW again, ASW, LPW times CWS. So there you go, Spencer Love as well. But guys, as many shows as I can think of to put in there is what, I shouldn't say what I think of, but what I'm familiar with and what has been shouted out to me, so to speak. So bear with me. Episode number 2, and I'm trying to slow down my wordage with regards to putting on a better show. But guys, if you're watching, listening, thank you very much. From there, Wrestling is Life is Wrestling with Cody Deaner. Episode number 9, launched today. Crazy Steve Part 3, so that officially on YouTube as well as various platforms as well. Diener does an amazing job with regards to his podcast, and it shouldn't really even be a podcast. It should be a conversation because the way he has done his interviews, so to speak, the way he's interacted with talent, it's absolutely phenomenal. And the fact is, with regards to it, it's like two buddies having a conversation. He's done it with Josh Alexander, Rosemary, Joe Hendry, as well as Crazy Steve. And it's part 3 of 3 today, so it'll be a new one up next week. So guys, there has been a little bit of excitement in my voice the entire show. Probably a main reason why I'm stumbling a lot of the names I'm really good at pronouncing, like Kazuchika Okada. See, easy right there. But guys, it's time for my huge announcement. And personally, this was something cool, never expected, but something I'm going to honor and cherish, and something I'm going to do my absolute best at. And that is this coming Sunday. So guys, here in London, Ontario this weekend, on top of the Western Fair taking place, on top of Smash Wrestling taking place, there is this thing called London Comic Con 2023 taking place on Saturday as well as Sunday. So day 1 and day 2. So Comic Con day 1, Saturday, September the 16th, RBC Place in London, Ontario. Doors open at 10 a.m. LondonComicCon.com is the address. Day 2, Sunday, September 17th. RBC Place in London, Ontario, doors open at 10 a.m. So 2 days of London Comic Con taking place, RBC Place here in the city. I've been to a couple of them in the past. They're absolutely phenomenal. It's a change of scenery, I will put it that way. And to me, it's the main reason for going is because there's something always been wrestling related. This year is no different, but this year there is a special feel to it, so to speak, and I'm absolutely excited about it. And I'm going to see if you guys can kind of pick up on something first before I officially make the announcement. So if I were to say, and this was a trading card back in 1990, by the way. So height, 6'5", weight, 249 pounds. Hometown, this is probably going to give it away right here, Stone Mountain, Georgia. Famous wrestling move, he patented the DDT hold. Special feats, talents, speed, strength, cunning, and the ability to wrestle in any style. And unusual characteristic, dragging his 10-foot python Damien over defeated opponents. So guys, the one and only, this guy here, Jake the Snake Roberts, is going to be at Comic-Con both days, so Saturday and Sunday. The cool announcement I'm about to make, and I've told my dad about this, I've told my wife about this as well, and I am completely excited about it. So Sunday, 11 a.m., Comic-Con, RBC Place, here in the city, London, Ontario. I am honored, absolutely honored, to be hosting the Q&A with the one and only Jake the Snake Roberts, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the main stage. There's going to be a photo op followed up at 12:30 with the one and only Jake the Snake Roberts. But guys, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to handsome myself up, so to speak, but I'm going to be hosting the Q&As with the one and only, so a Q&A with the one and only Jake the Snake Roberts on Sunday, this coming Sunday, 11 o'clock a.m. My wife, my daughter Emma, is going to be in attendance as well, and I am stoked. I am excited for this. I've got to meet Jake twice in the past, and this here is going to be a surreal experience for me. I was asked to do it, and I was, I talked to my wife Christine about it, and I was like, I couldn't hesitate. I was like, I have to do this. This is just one of those one of a kind opportunities, and for that, I want to say thank you to Comic-Con for giving me the opportunity. I'm excited for it. It's going to be absolutely exciting, and first time I've done a Q&A. Not the first time I've ever done an interview, but first time I've ever done a Q&A, and I'm going to look my Sunday best, as they say. But guys, Comic-Con taking place day 1, day 2, Saturday and Sunday this coming weekend. Jake the Snake Roberts is the wrestling guest, and he'll be doing photos and autographs as well as a Q&A. Like I said, 11 o'clock this coming Sunday, RBC Place in London, Ontario. And guys, looking forward to it. And I may have to do a show next week to tell you how the whole experience was, but absolutely phenomenal, absolutely unreal. And like I said, the one and only Mr. DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts, coming to the city. So looking forward to that. So 43 minutes. I didn't do too bad tonight. So yeah, just in time to get off the air, get a drink, get some food, and watch the first week one, so to speak, of Impact Wrestling, Impact 1000. So excited for that too. Guys, Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2024 is taking place Thursday, January 18th, 2024. It seems like it was just January, yesterday, and it's coming up, which means the voting begins Wednesday, November 1st, 2023, which means I got to start getting everything in line, everything in shape. Reach out to the people I need to reach out to, and get the voting started with the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame to see whose names are going to be in the race, for 2024 class. Yeah, like I guess that is it. It's going to be an exciting week, I tell you, with wrestling, the Western Fair, and then Jake the Snake Roberts and London Comic Con as well. Guys, as always, check me out at Chris Maloney, CWN. I am the CWN founder and editor, established in 2009. It's been a long ride. January 18th, by the way, coincides with the debut of CWN Online. When it first started, it was CWN Canadian Wrestling Network, and then I transformed it into just CWN. CWNonline.ca is the web address. So guys, anytime you see me sporting a t-shirt, whatever the case may be, I have a banner still of CWN's Canadian Wrestling Network. Still, still pretty cool. But no, it will celebrate, what is it next year? Is it 15? Yeah, 15 years on January 18th in the 2024 class Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. I meant to say I was going to do show and tell, so I will do it here at the end of the show. This here, I'm going to mark it a little bit for Impact Wrestling. This here tells you how much of a fan I am of Impact Wrestling. I own this. I don't think I've ever played it. It's from the Xbox 360, but I don't think they came out with another one. I think it might be the only Impact Wrestling game they ever came out with. Behind me during the entire show, I've got a few other things as well, which I think are cool. So this I picked up at Under Siege. Little cozy thing. I've never been used. I never use it. I have a tendency to buy things and just put them away as souvenirs. This was kind of cool as well. It's a media pass. There was a press conference that took place here in the city when Under Siege was here, and it had the Good Hands as well as Tyler Turva were in attendance. It was cool because I get to meet Ross Foreman, a couple of the Impact media guys, George Iceman. That was cool as well. From there, this here. Travel mug. My wife loves coffee and she's never get to use it. She never will. But I want to have some keepsakes with regards to Impact Wrestling. I'll go through quickly some of my cool DVDs. Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, signed, not the greatest signature because it wasn't one of those, not the thin Sharpies, but one of the beefy Sharpies, so to speak, like in talk. This here, the Best of the X Division, Volume 1, signed by, again, Christopher Daniels and a fat Sharpie. We've got AJ Styles signing over him, and then Chris Sabin as well. That was kind of cool. Best of the X Division, Volume 2. I've never touched this as far as signatures go. I don't know if I ever will. It's one of the coolest covers I think I've seen as far as DVDs go. If you're on audio, check out the video just for what I'm show and tell here. And then from there, we've got Christian Cage, one of the original from TNA Wrestling. He signed it. So that's a pretty cool keepsake for me as well. This is how long I've been a fan of TNA Wrestling. I mean, it was before it was available in Canada. I used to download it and it'd take forever to download. And I watch the episodes on the computer, and they're probably as small as your cell phone is, but I'd still enjoy it, get used to the names, everything else. And that's oh shoot. I forget which one it's in. There was a little maybe it's in Christian Cage's. There was a little thing for, here it is. For London, Ontario. I don't know how I got this. So September the 13th. And that anniversary was yesterday. And TNA Wrestling came to London, Ontario, by the way. So TNA Wrestling live from London. Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe, Booker T, Beer Money with Jacqueline, Johnny Devine, Motor City Machine Guns. Interesting to see some of these names because they still exist. Sanjay Dutt, Eric Young, the Instant Classic. I forgot that it used to be his nickname. Christian Cage, Rhino, the Beautiful People, Taylor, and Impact win 1,000 tonight. Man, some of these names. Followed up by Taylor Wilde, Tracy Brooks, Petey Williams, Consequences Creed, and Abdul Bashir. I don't remember Abdul Bashir. But that was September the 13th, 8:00 p.m. that took place. And that was, guys, if you can see that without the glare, that was the promo. This is just not even laminate, but just a piece of paper. And you can see a young, that is Samoa Joe, Booker T, as well as Christian Cage. So they had that for whatever reason. I kept that as a keepsake. I've seen it someplace in the city. And so it was pretty cool to see. I didn't realize it was September 13th. That's absolutely phenomenal. And the last little thing I will show you with regards to my Impact Wrestling collection is this. And I've never seen one of these ever exist beyond mine, by the way. So the TNA DVD board game, untouched, never used. And you look at some of the faces on, some of the faces on the thing itself. You get Christian Cage, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Sting, Samoa Joe. Around the sides, you've got Gail Kim and Booker T, Christy Hemme, Jeff Jarrett, SoCal Val, Abyss, Shark Boy, the VKM, I think they were called. I don't know if I'm holding this up. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so the Motor City Machine Guns right there. And then the other side was the main characters, Christian Cage, AJ, Sting, and Samoa Joe. And I think that was all. Yeah, that was all sides. So I was just with Impact 1000 taking place. I was like, you know what? I've got to go into nostalgia. I've got to go into Mark mode, so to speak, and just figure out and go through some of my collection. That's just some of it. But I have been, always will be, a fan of Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, so to speak. And with that being said, I'm going to get off the air so I can enjoy Impact 1000. But guys, it's been an interesting show, full of announcements and nostalgia and hype and everything that goes along with it. But guys, I love being back. I love doing this again. And, you will see me again sometime soon. As I always say, I don't know if it'll be next week, hopefully, because I do want to recap everything that takes place this weekend on the show. So as long as everything plays out properly, it'll be next week. My anniversary with my wife is next weekend, so it definitely won't be on the weekend, but hopefully next Thursday, and we can do week 2 of Impact Wrestling as well. So guys, that is it for the show. If you've watched and listened live, thank you very much. If you're watching or listening with regards to the replay, thank you very much as well. I am Chris Maloney at Chris Maloney Studio, and check it out. And guys, that is it for tonight. I will hopefully see everybody again next week. I will let everybody know how the experience with Jake the Snake Roberts goes. And guys, as always, thank you very much for watching and listening. And I will see everybody again sometime soon.